Hi, I'm August Keller, and these are my updated Oscar predictions for the year 2026 for October. So, at number 14, Begonia, which is Yorgos Lanthimos. I've always been pretty skeptical of this movie because Yorgos is pretty weird. I like him a lot, but, he's had some big success with The Favorite and Poor Things. But besides those two, his other movies haven't really had a whole lot of recognition from the Academy. I think maybe The Lobster got a writing nomination. Dogtooth got an international nomination. The Killing of a Sacred Deer, I don't think it got any nominations. Kinds of Kindness did not get anything. Was never in the discussion really. And yeah, supposedly Begonia isn't as weird as the weirdest of Yorgos, but I also don't get the sense that this is something as Oscar Beatty is in tune with Oscar sensibilities as The Favorite and Poor Things. I mean, those two movies were period pieces, so they had a lot of tech prestige, with costumes and production design, things like that. And, this seems more like a thriller, and it might not have the most likable characters. It looks like a good movie. I'm definitely very interested in it. But if we're talking about what the Academy goes for, I do just feel like this is not something that they're going to ultimately bite on. And, so part of me wants to even rank something like Train Dreams or The Secret Agent or The Testament of Anne Lee higher than this, because I just don't see this one actually making it into the top 10. But I don't think I want to go that far, because ultimately it is Yorgos, and he is someone to pay attention to. He does have name recognition, so I'm going to put it here. At number 13, I have No Other Choice, which is an international film by Park Chan-wook. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. People are saying this is a great film. I've looked at its response on its Metacritic score, and one thing that keeps giving me pause with this movie is his previous film, Decision to Leave, which was a great film. I loved it. It was in my top 10 for the year. And it didn't get any nominations. It didn't even get international film nominated for that. And I remember people being pretty shocked by that. So, these movies are thrillers, and they're foreign language films. So those two things make it an uphill battle. And, this Metacritic score I see for No Other Choice is not any better than Decision to Leave. So it's hard for me to think that, the Decision to Leave got nothing, and then No Other Choice is going to make it all the way into Best Picture. I don't really buy it. I hope that I'm certain I'm going to like this movie. It might end up being one of my favorites on this list, but I just am very skeptical that it's going to get in the Best Picture. Hopefully it gets in the Best International Film at the very least. And if it gets into Best Picture, that would be cool, but I'm not willing to bet on it at this point. I think the reason some people think it might is because it got Best International Film at TIFF, and it beat some other films that are on this list to get to do so. So, that is something to pay attention to, but I don't know. I still just am not willing to bet on it yet, basically because of how Decision to Leave performed just a couple years ago. At number 12, I have A House of Dynamite. So this one's complicated because mostly this comes down to the distributor for me. Actually, something I didn't mention with No Other Choice is that it's Neon, and to me it seems like it's Neon's third movie, and Neon is a smaller film. A smaller distributor compared to Warner Brothers or something. So I'm not very confident that Neon can get all three movies in, which is why I have No Other Choice at number 13. And similarly with A House of Dynamite, I keep thinking this might be their third priority. It seems really close. They have three movies that all kind of have pros and cons to them. But A House of Dynamite, I think, it's got okay reviews on Metacritic and Letterboxd. It got a nomination at Venice. It's only been to Venice and NIF. So I don't know. And then it's releasing soon, October rather than, later. And all of those things make me feel like lukewarm. I don't see anything here that's like really, really standing out to me as a strength. It's directed by Catherine Bigelow, but its cast, is not that famous. Idris Elba, Rebecca Ferguson, those are names that people know, but are they like bona fide superstars? I don't think so. And yeah, all this makes me feel like it's got okay star power, it's got okay reception, it's got an okay like release schedule, and it doesn't really seem to have any above the line play. Like, I hear it's an ensemble movie, so there's not going to be like a best actor or best actress. It's going to just rely on technical nominations as its like nomination package. So that makes me think, actually, this is probably Netflix's third horse. And that makes me feel like putting it here at 12 rather than in the top 10. At number 11, I have Avatar: Fire and Ash. This one's tough because, this movie is probably going to make, over $1.5 billion, close to $2 billion at the box office. It's coming out late December, so it's going to be doing really well right when voting is happening. But it's unknown, we don't know yet if this is going to be a good movie. I've heard that it's maybe one of the best of the three, which isn't saying a whole lot because they're not like the most well-written movies. Another thing that gives me pause is that I'm really reluctant to bet on sequels. I think sequels are often like a trap when it comes to like guessing nominations because, the previous two Avatar movies got nominated, this one couldn't get nominated too. But I also see a lot of sequels just struggle to live up to their predecessor, and even if they are good movies, like I think Mad Max Furiosa last year was a good movie, but it just completely disappeared from the conversation because it wasn't as good as Fury Road. And I think that could happen here where people are just like, well, this isn't better than Avatar or Way of Water. It's just more of the same. And, like Avatar got a lot of nominations, I think like close to 10. Way of Water got more like 4 or something. It just keeps going down. And I can see Fire of Ash just getting like 2 or 3. I mean, it's going to win Best Special Effects, so that's something, which is why I have it here. And I feel uncomfortable betting against James Cameron. I mean, it very well could just be right in there with just like the last two. But I'm skeptical with sequels. It's also a sequel just kind of tacked on. It doesn't, the first Avatar was a complete story. It's not based off a book series where this is the ultimate conclusion. This is just another movie being made because it makes money. So it's just like middle of this franchise. There's supposed to be more coming. So I don't know. I don't want to put it in. It feels like a fine placeholder, but I just don't feel like this is where this is ultimately going to be the one that gets in. But, ahead of it, there are a couple movies that I don't feel that confident in. At number 10, I have Jay Kelly. So as I was saying, Netflix has 3 movies in contention right now, and this is what I think is number 2. So to compare it to A House of Dynamite, I do think it has better name recognition. It's directed by Noah Baumbach, who, compared to Catherine Bigelow, I guess we could say they're kind of similar as far as like fame. But Jay Kelly has a more famous cast. It has George Clooney, it has Adam Sandler. And I don't know if those two are actually going to get nominated, but I think they're both in play or in the discussion to get nominated for Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor. Laura Dern might get Best Supporting Actress nominations for this. I don't. It's looking like the chances are fading on all those fronts, which is why I don't love having this movie in, but I still have it in 10. Compared to A House of Dynamite, it's got a lower Metacritic score, but not that much lower. It has the same Venice nomination. It's been to more film festivals. it's gone to Telluride in addition to Venice and NIF, and it has a later release date in November rather than October, which makes me feel like I think that's a little more of a primo position for a release. So all those things make me think like, hey, that makes me think it's actually a better bet in every way, just slightly better bet than a House of Dynamite. And because Netflix is such a big distributor, I think it can get 2 in. And I don't know, Jay Kelly came in with a lot of buzz and then it kind of didn't do well at Venice, but then at NIF it's kind of doing okay. So I think it can hang around and be like that last one that squeezes in. At number 9, I have Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. So this is 20th Century Studios, which is also Avatar, Fire and Ash. So I think these two are kind of like, it's funny to put these two next to each other because they're such inverses. You know, Avatar is this big blockbuster and Springsteen is this like more smaller scale prestige play. And to compare it to Jay Kelly, it seems like Springsteen had a lot of buzz coming in and then it's kind of like fallen off a bit as far as like its Oscar stock. Its Metacritic score and Letterboxd score are not that great. You know, it went to Telluride and NIF and it's coming out soon, this weekend actually. So late October isn't the most hot release date. But the reason I have it here is it is a biopic, just a good old-fashioned music biopic. Apparently it's trying to subvert some tropes, so maybe it can quiet the critique about, you know, the Oscars always going for boilerplate music biopics. But really the main reason I feel confident enough to put it here is that Jeremy Allen White seems like a strong play for Best Actor, a Best Actor nomination. And that is a strong correlation. There's a strong correlation between that category and Best Picture. So if we can more or less count on him getting that nomination, that's a good anchor for this movie. And, you know, that means the Academy is going to probably watch it. And it should get seen, it should get votes, and I think there's a good chance that this will squeeze into the top 10 because of that. It's kind of like, I know a lot of people are comparing it to A Complete Unknown from last year. It seems like it's just lesser than that movie in kind of every way. You know, Jeremy Allen White isn't Timothée Chalamet. Bruce Springsteen isn't Bob Dylan. The reception hasn't been as glowing. The release date isn't near Christmas, it's near Halloween. So yeah, it's just not going to do that well, but you know, I can see it getting a lot of the similar nominations or being in play for a lot of those same nominations, sound and editing and script. And, you know, Jeremy Strong might come along as Best Supporting Actor nominations. That is. But it all really starts with Jeremy Allen White getting Best Actor nomination, that's out of all the movies I've listed so far, that seems like the strongest argument I have for anything yet. At number 8, I have Frankenstein, which is Netflix. And so this is, to me, seems like Netflix's best bet. It has, compared to the other Netflix movies, it has the best Metacritic score currently. It has the best Letterboxd score currently. It went to Venice and TIFF. It's the only one of the 3 to go to TIFF. It has an October release date, which, you know, I'm not crazy about, but it has been nominated at Venice, and it also got nominated for the People's Choice at TIFF, which is a big thing. That's a good indicator. And on top of all that, I think it has maybe the biggest name of the 3 movies in Guillermo del Toro with the Academy. It has an okay cast. It has a good cast with Oscar Isaac and Jacob Elordi and others, like Mia Goth, I think, is in it. But really having Guillermo has had the most success between Baumbach and Catherine Bigelow and him. Guillermo has had the most success with the Academy. I am concerned that it's a horror movie or it's a monster movie, but it's based off of the book. It's supposed to be true to the source material, so that gives it some prestige. It's going to have a lot of tech opportunities like makeup and production design, music and things like that. I hear it's big and grand. So, but really, it's that TIFF nomination that makes me feel like good about this and makes me feel like this is probably going to get in. And yeah, Guillermo being there too, that's a good guess. So out of everything so far, this seems like the best bet that I've named. At number 7, I have It Was Just an Accident. I've been skeptical about this movie. Mainly, this movie is its big calling card so far is that it won the Palme d'Or. And the Palme d'Or, I think can be misleading. Sometimes, I mean, the last 3 have gotten nominated for Best Picture, but the one before that, Titan, which was a great movie, was just never an Oscar player. And, the Cannes Film Festival is very prestigious, but it's also very international and can have a different taste than the Academy. And I believe the Palme d'Or is chosen by a jury, so it's not a big voting body. It's just a small voting body that chooses this. So that can really skew things. But it's just an accident. It went to Cannes, it went to Telluride, it went to TIFF, it went to NIF. So that's a good run. It's got a really good Metacritic score. It's got a really good Letterboxd score. Its release date seems really like it's going to be like this slow, gradual release strategy, which I'm not a fan of. And another thing that gives me pause is that it did lose that TIFF international. It didn't even get place. It didn't even place. No Other Choice beat it. Some other movies beat it too. So that does give me concern. I'm not like totally confident in this, and part of me wants to like even put like Frankenstein above it. But having that Palme d'Or, and it should be a strong player in Best International Feature. I think that's what gives me the most confidence is that it'll be in winning contention for that category. And if you win that category, you get nominated for Best Picture at the very least. So I'm not sure if Sentimental Value is actually eligible or not for Best International Feature, because I think you have to have like a certain amount of the movie not be in English. And I know Sentimental Value is at least partly in English. So it's between those two for Best International Feature. But even still, like two can get into Best Picture. So yeah, I think that angle is what's going to save it. And the Palme d'Or, I mean, it's not nothing. It's something. It's helpful for sure. So that makes me want to keep It Was Just an Accident in. And yeah, Neon's been pretty good at getting the Palme winners all the way to Best Picture nominations. At number 6, I have Wicked for Good, which is it seems to be Universal's best bet. Like I said, I don't love having sequels in. I fear that they can backfire. If they come out and they're not as big and as spectacular as their predecessor, there's a chance that this just doesn't live up to the hype and people will get bored of it. But Wicked for Good, it's coming out around Thanksgiving, which is a good sign. It should probably do really well at the box office. It should be a good tech player across the board, not just with techs, but also with acting prospects like Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. They both got nominated last year, so they could get nominated again. And also, I like that this was filmed together with the first Wicked. It's not this tacked on sequel, and it's also concluding the story. Though I think those are two good exceptions for sequels. It's ending the story. It was always planned from the beginning. It's a musical, and the Academy has gone for it in the past. So yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that it was a sequel, it really has everything you would want from a Best Picture, like populous, big box office player. So but it is a sequel, so it makes me concerned. But so I have it here. I think this is probably the last of the movies where I feel like it's not a lock, but I am confident in it because it is just such a across the board strong. It has a strong case. It should get. It's one of those movies that could get like 8 nominations, nearly 10 nominations. Okay, at number 5, I have Sentimental Value. And so this to me is the first of the locks. I think this is locked to get nominated. It didn't win the Palme d'Or, but it got runner-up, or it was nominated. It didn't win the TIFF International, but it got nominated there as well. It has a good Metacritic score. It's got a good Letterboxd score. It's been to Cannes, Telluride, TIFF, and NIFF. It's releasing in November. It seems like it came out of Cannes, and it was like, even though it was just an accident, won the Palme d'Or, it seemed like Sentimental Value was the one that was like more buzzy. Like if they had an award for like a bigger audience award, it seems like maybe Sentimental Value would have won if it wasn't judged by a jury. And it seems like this is Neon's top priority. It should get. It seems like it's got a lot of acting nomination possibility with Skarsgård and God, I'm butchering her name. I'm sure Renee Reinsve. So, and then Elle Fanning could get nominated, and then it seems like there are other people that could get nominated too. So, yeah, this is a strong player. It's getting nominated for Best Picture, and then it's just that it seems like it's kind of cooled off, and it's not necessarily a win contender anymore. It seems like coming out of Cannes, it was a win contender, and so, but yeah, it seems like the buzz has kind of calmed down, the hype has kind of calmed down. So even though it's still a lock, I have it as the last of the locks because it seems like people are kind of not as excited about it as they once were. At number 4, I have Sinners. So I think Sinners is like a pseudo contender for for win contention. It's a lock to be nominated. I mean, it was in a lot of ways the movie of the year. In my opinion, it's the best movie so far. It's my favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the year this is my favorite movie. In fact, I'd be surprised if it isn't. The reason I have it 4th is because it seems like at this point it's not winning. It seems like it's not the front runner, and it's already kind of, we know how everyone feels about this movie. There's nothing really left for it to do. I don't see really an avenue for it to suddenly take the front runner position anymore. So even though I think it's like kind of, people are going to advocate for it to be a winner, I just don't see how it actually can win. But so yeah, it's a pseudo win contender, but it's not actually, I don't think actually going to happen. So I have it here at 4th. At number 3, I have Marty Supreme. So Marty Supreme is not known, you know. It premiered at NIFF, so there is some reception. It seems like, you know, they're not allowed to actually give official reviews yet, so the Metacritic score is not out. But if you look on Letterboxd, it's got a good scores. It's releasing on Christmas, which I think is a very primo spot to release, and it's A24's big release. It's the only A24 movie on this list. It seems like Timothée Chalamet is the front runner to win Best Actor. So the reason I have it here at 3rd is I think of the pseudo contenders, this is the best chance of usurping the front runner, but it's also has the best chance of not getting nominated because we don't know. We don't have a very good sample size of how people feel about this movie. So it's kind of a wild card. It's going to get nominated. I feel confident that it's a lock to get nominated, but there is a shadow of a doubt that it doesn't. Like somehow it comes out, everyone hates it, and it just doesn't happen. But it also could come out and people are just so excited for this. This is the movie of the year, and it becomes the front runner. And having Timothée Chalamet be firmly in Best Actor nomination and probably the winner, that's a big deal. So I have it here at third, kind of to split the difference. I think, yeah. At number two, I have Hamnet. So out of all the pseudo win contenders, I think this is kind of the best of both worlds. It's premiered at a few festivals. It's been at Telluride and TIFF. It won the People's Choice Awards at TIFF. It's releasing in December. It's got a great Metacritic score. It's got a great Letterboxd score. So it's proven that people like it, but it hasn't fully been wide released yet. So there's still room for it to gain more hype, which is why I think it's in a better position than Sinners. But it's also in a better position than Marty Supreme because we know that people love it already. It sounds like Jessie Buckley is like the front runner for Best Actress, which is also a strong thing. It seems like Chloe Zhao should be firmly in Best Director conversation. So yeah, it's like, again, I think Marty Supreme has a better chance of becoming the front runner, but I also think Hamnet has a higher floor. It has a high ceiling and it has a high floor. So I think it's possible that this ends up being the front runner at some point and winning. But it's not the current front runner in my opinion. So I have it at number two. At number one, I have One Battle After Another. This seems to be the consensus front runner. And for a lot of people, it seems like it's the runaway front runner. Like it's kind of already decided. It came out and it just did well across the board. It's done well at the box office. Maybe it's not fully profitable yet because it was an expensive movie, but people loved it. Critics loved it. Audiences loved it. It's just doing well everywhere. It's going to be a tech player. It seems like Sean Penn is possibly the front runner for Best Supporting Actor. It's between him and Skarsgård in Sentimental Value. It seems like Leo might get nominated for Best Actor. And it seems like Paul Thomas Anderson is like a lock to win Best Director, which is a very strong indicator that your movie's going to win Best Picture. So yeah, and if you look at any of the pundits, almost unanimously, all the pundits, anywhere you look online, people are predicting One Battle After Another to win. So it is the front runner, and it seems like it's going to be a hard movie to displace as the front runner. I think Sinners, Marty Supreme, and Hamnet all have an argument to be the like alternate choice, but right now One Battle After Another is the primary choice, and it's certainly getting nominated. It came out and there's really nothing it has to answer to. It's completely across the board in. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. If you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to like and subscribe. I also have an Instagram linked in the description. I'd love support there or here. But at the very least, I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, thanks.